What's good, Commanders fans? Just got some quick news here. This is another rumor mill stuff here, but this is from John Keim. He reported this on his podcast. I just listened to it this morning. But you know, whatever John Keim says, usually it has a lot of truth to it. And when he does release information, like I said, he's usually in the know. You know, he usually has the reports from inside the Washington, the Commanders front office, whatever. Because last year he was correct about a lot of stuff. You know, the Curtis Samuel signing was pretty easy. I think I called it. Everybody called that one. But he's usually spot on with when he reports stuff. He's not stretching the truth or anything like that. When he usually says things, they usually happen to the Washington Commanders or Washington football team. He's very, very plugged in. So when he says something, you definitely want to listen to what he says. He does not fabricate anything at all. So what he reported during his podcast, he said, two names to watch for in free agency for the Commanders are Mitchell Trubisky and Teddy Bridgewater. And this is some information that we already know. We already know that they like Mitch Trubisky. There were rumors that they wanted to trade for Mitchell Trubisky during the trade deadline. Him and Charles Leno are good friends. John Keim also brought up Juan Castillo, who they just brought in as the tight end coach who worked with Mitchell Trubisky in Chicago. He likes with the Bills. And he had nothing but good things to say about Mitchell Trubisky as well. So he's vouching for him as well. That's what John Keim is reporting. He's saying that Mitchell Trubisky in a RPO heavy scheme and running the option, the read option, that there's some hope for Mitchell Trubisky to be successful. So if Scott Turner runs an RPO heavy scheme, some motion, read option, then Mitchell Trubisky could be successful. And this is stuff that I really wanted him to do more with Taylor Heinicke. But they just didn't do much of it, or as much as I think they should have or could have. But that's their thinking, that they can be successful with Mitchell Trubisky and bring in and draft a quarterback. Now, of course, they're still going to draft a quarterback. John Keim was saying that they're probably going to draft a quarterback in the first or second or third. Really the first round or the second round. Because in the third round, it's just going to be like Bailey Zapp and guys like that after the second round. So Mitchell Trubisky, they like what he's done, or there's potential there that they think, which I don't really see much potential, but as a bridge quarterback, a one-year deal, it would be another Fitzpatrick type thing. John Keim was saying this would be a 1 year, $7 million deal, $7 to $10 million deal, something like that. And that he could potentially be a good game manager like he was with the Bears, where they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs in 2018. But the thing is, their defense, the Bears defense was legit. Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, Kyle Fuller had 7 picks that year in 2018 when they went to the playoffs and lost to the Eagles due to that missed kick. So everything has to be perfect. Jordan Howard was a really good running back for the Bears at that time. So everything has to be perfect around Mitchell Trubisky to be successful. He just has to be a game manager. We have to have a strong run game. And our defense has to look like they did last year when they were a top 5 defense. Granted, it was against a lot of backup quarterbacks. This year it's a third place schedule, so maybe the defense could bounce back getting healthy. Maybe they could look like the defense did back in 2020. It would take some things to happen. But Mitchell Trubisky, like I said, you're going to have everything perfect. He's not the answer. You're going to have to draft a quarterback. And then probably what typically happens with Commanders or the football team is we get a bridge quarterback, doesn't work out, then we have to play the rookie. So it's a never-ending Twilight Zone cycle. So the other guy, Teddy Bridgewater, we already know about him, game manager. He did beat us last year with the Broncos, and he beat us the year before with the Panthers. But we know what he leads to. He's like another Alex Smith. He's just a game manager, a check down quarterback. Doesn't really like to take chances or throw the ball downfield, but he won't turn the ball over, which is what Ron Rivera likes, and they like his leadership. That's what John Keim was saying as well. Now, Teddy Bridgewater had 18 touchdowns, 7 picks last year. He did beat the Cowboys. He blew the Cowboys out. I did watch that game. Now, the Broncos, they started out 3-0, and I talked about him in my free agency video. I personally, I don't want Teddy Bridgewater. If it came to the free agency to have to pick one of these guys, I'd probably pick Jameis Winston over Teddy Bridgewater. And this is like just picking, you know, the best out of the bunch, which is where we know where this bunch of quarterbacks is going to lead to. It's going to lead to a 7-10 season, 8-9, at best 9-8 with these guys, with these free Marcus Mariotas of the world, Andy Dalton, Fitzpatrick, guys like that. All these free agency, bridge, quarterback, and they're free agents for a reason. You know, they're free agents for a reason. If I had to pick, I'd probably pick Jameis Winston over Teddy Bridgewater. But Teddy Bridgewater, you know what you're getting. He's a game manager. He's not going to turn the ball over. 18 touchdowns, 7 picks. Had a QBR of 47.4, was 20th in the NFL. He's mobile. He can run around a little bit. Like I said, they started out 3-0. They beat the Jets, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Giants. And he had a lot of receivers with Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton. He had all those receivers, Albert O, and still wasn't doing much in the passing game. So that's a big concern with Teddy Bridgewater. We already know what it is. Didn't work out with the Panthers. And also Marty Hurney was the GM for the Panthers when they did bring in Teddy Bridgewater. So there's some familiarity there. We already know how Ron Rivera is and Marty Hurney and those guys. They love familiarity. They love guys that they played with or coached with or signed before. So I would not be surprised. That makes a lot of sense that they would pick a Teddy Bridgewater over a Jameis Winston or over a Marcus Mariota or over Andy Dalton and Tyrod Taylor and guys like that. So that makes sense. That does sound realistic that they would pick Mitch and Teddy over some other guys that they've never really worked with before. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, Teddy Two Gloves, you know what you're getting, check down quarterback. But the most important thing is drafting a quarterback. If you get these guys, you pay them 1 year, $7 million, 8, 9, 10, or whatever, and then you draft a quarterback, which last year what they did, they signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, but they didn't draft a guy. That's the mistake they can't make. Now, if they do sign one of these guys, they got to get a quarterback at 11. If they miss out on Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral gets picked by the Broncos or the Panthers or whoever, those two teams before us that do have picks that do want a quarterback. If those two guys go off the board, then, you know, Malik Willis is there, Sam Howell, guys like that. And then in the second round, it'd probably be like a Desmond Ridder or a Carson Strong. That's what you're looking at. So Ron Rivera, all the reports saying that they want to be aggressive. Ron Rivera, you know, kind of saying to the media, Albert Breer, that they're going to be aggressive. They're going to take a big swing. The Mike Silver article also going on Good Morning Football, I want to say, on NFL Network, saying that, you know, they're going to try to get a quarterback. And then during the press conference saying, I think a reporter asked him, would Deshaun Watson be on the table? He said everything is on the table. So Ron Rivera has put out there, of course, many, many times before that they're trying to get a quarterback. They're trying to be aggressive, and that they're trying to take a big swing, and it looks like they're going to strike out, which we all basically pretty much knew that they were going to strike out. So they're going to, Aaron Rodgers is most likely going to stay. Russell Wilson's most likely going to stay, in my opinion. Deshaun Watson, I know the betting odds said there were plus 500 that were the top of the list per Sports Illustrated, but I'm not going to take much stock into that at all with getting Deshaun Watson. So the most realistic thing that is going to happen here, I think we're all starting to know that with free agency starting March 14th, they got to make something happen within 2 weeks. The combine is this week. So with all that stuff happening and all the news starting to come up and trickle out, rumors and whatnot, it's looking more and more like Mitchell Trubisky or Teddy Two Gloves to DC. And then we draft a quarterback like a Malik Willis or Sam Howell at 11. Or they wait until the second round. John Kahn was saying possibly that if they don't get Kenny Pickett, then they would wait to the second round and get a guy like a Desmond Ridder or a Carson Strong. So, you know, we'll see. So it's not looking too bright, but like I said, just be aware. Just be aware that, you know, Mitchell Trubisky or Teddy B would be here. Mitch is a game manager, has been to the playoffs twice, but like I said, he had a strong defense, had a strong run game, and he was a game manager. That's just what you're going to get. So it could be like another Rex Grossman scenario or John Beck or something like that. So just be prepared for that. All right, you guys. Hail to the Commanders. Peace.